Everybody, and welcome back to another episode. Today, I've got Dasha Beardsley on the show. Dasha oversees investor relations and marketing for Lonestar Capital. They have acquired over $500 million in multifamily real estate. Y'all are going to want to listen to this. Dasha prides herself in serving Lone Star's 400 plus investors and reaches over 100,000 people through the firm's social media channels. She graduated magna cum laude from the University of Southern California with a degree in real estate development. Dasha, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. Impressive resume here. I mean, this is a lot going on. 500, that's $500 million in commercial real estate. You've got a ton of investors, over 100,000 people on the firm's social media channels. I know the audience is going to be excited to listen to what you have today to say today. For those that don't know who you are, can you tell us what your story and background is?
Absolutely. I guess I'll start with college or a little bit before then. I decided to go to University of Southern California because I heard that they have one of the best real estate programs in the country. So, um, pretty early on into high school, I knew that I wanted to study real estate and that I wanted to go into it. I just didn't really know exactly what. I was really interested in development, so I did get a real estate development degree at USC. Simultaneously, my older brother, Rob Beardsley, he started his company, Lonestar Capital, in 2018. So that was when I started college. So he was just working on his first deal, and I ended up putting most of my, not much at the time, of course, being 18, 19 years old, but I put almost all of my net worth into that first deal, which was a little risky, but um I just kind of got the investing bug after that. I had always had a job in college, so I would just save all my money and put it all into Rob's deals at Lone Star. So I just kind of started slowly transitioning from an investor to more so working at the firm. So I did an internship in 2019 with Lone Star, and then I just was slowly working up my responsibilities throughout my time in college to the point where for my senior year I was only taking a couple classes and I was pretty much full time. So I've been really at the firm for almost 3 years now.
Real estate development. Interesting. So when you started, did you start right out of school with Rob's company, or did you get any kind of real world experience doing the real estate degree?
Yeah, so right after college, I went straight into working at Lone Star. I did, however, before I started really scaling up my responsibilities at Lone Star, I did work for an affordable housing consulting firm in
Yeah.
LA. So that's the other job experience that I have related to real estate at least, and I really enjoyed that. But I just really found growing with the company a lot more exciting, a lot of opportunity there, and I enjoyed the investor relations and marketing side, which was a little different from the role that I was doing before.
Yeah, let's jump in and let's talk about it. So 400 investors, 100,000 people plus reach on social media, $500 million in real estate. Let's start with like the top of the funnel here. I'm very interested. Let's start with social media. Because down at the bottom funnel, I want to get to like investor relations and how you guys are kind of raising capital. What does the top of the funnel look like for y'all's social media brand that y'all have created? What goes into creating a 100,000 plus person reach? I know there's a ton of business owners that are listening to this, like, all right, you've got my ear at this point.
Yeah. So there's a ton that goes into it, and I think especially in the beginning, a lot of people thought that Rob was posting on LinkedIn all of these days, but it's been delegated for a long time now. I think it was ever since 2019 or 2020. He really wasn't doing it for that long, and I think that that's super important. That's I think maybe one of the first things that you should offload to someone else as a business owner because you just can't really be spending your time all day on LinkedIn posting, editing, all that stuff. So that's really where I started. But as far as the what our top of funnel looks like, we have different lead magnets that have really expanded our reach. So some of those include Rob has published two books. Those have, really been grown in popularity and they haven't slowed down since they have been published. The first one was published in 2020. So we're still selling the same amount of books each week as we did in the beginning. And sometimes it's a lot more, but on average, we're selling, it hasn't decreased at all, our sales. So it's really exciting that that is just really produced ongoing results and leads for us.
Mhm.
Um, we also, Rob has on our website our model for download for free. So that has been downloaded by, I don't know how many, like years ago, it was like 10, over 10,000 people downloaded it. So that has really
Wow.
expanded. So we have certain lead magnets that we
And,
get
and real
emails.
quick, that model was an underwriting model that
Hmm.
people can get for free on the website to help you underwrite multifamily or commercial deals.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to stop and clarify. Thanks.
Yeah. And so yeah, we basically just have a few lead magnets, but as far as what the actual marketing looks like, we're actually ramping it up to 7 days a week, but historically we've been posting 5 days a week on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. Not Instagram 5 days a week, but we do post on Instagram as well. And then yeah, we have a podcast. We actually produce two podcasts a week. So we're just on all platforms pretty much. We're hitting all of them.
Okay, so let me just try to sum this up right here as far as lead magnets go and trying to fill the funnel, the top of the funnel. You've got 2 books that have been wildly popular that Rob's published. Those continue to bring in leads. You've got a underwriting model for someone who's trying to learn the basics and understand multifamily underwriting. Maybe it's to avoid a bad deal or just become affiliated with the process that they can download on the website, probably through exchanging an email address. And then
Hmm.
you've been posting on social media for roughly 5 days a week. You guys are scaling that up to 7 days a week. Anything, and then you've also got your own podcast that you do and that you're releasing episodes. Have I kind of summed everything up there? Is there anything missing?
Yeah, we just have a couple more. Well, we have one more lead magnet really. That's our passive investor guide. And then we also on our website, of course, have an investor form. So a lot of the times when we hit different call to actions on our social medias. So when we're posting 5 days a week, we're not just wanting to post into the abyss and not have anyone do anything with that information. We have a CTA or a call to action. And so we lead them to each one. We alternate to each one of those lead magnets. So sometimes it's just fill out our investor form. Sometimes it's to get the one of the books. Sometimes it's the passive investor guide. So it just really depends on the post. But yeah, that sums up our marketing strategy.
I'm curious here. So you've got some outputs that are pretty impressive here. 100,000 plus on the social media following. What are the inputs that you have to put in order to get those outputs? In other words, if I'm a sales rep, right? I love this whole sales game because you can look at the funnel and you can say, all right, we got one customer. That sales rep might know that he has to uh, call on 10 appointments, for example, before getting that one customer. So for your 100,000 plus reach output, what are the inputs that go into that?
I would say it's just years of consistently posting and some of those things, we don't necessarily reach 100,000 people every time we post. Of course not, but that is our estimate in aggregate of how many people we reach. And yeah, I would say it depends also on what type of post and what type of platform. So we just like to analyze what posts are doing well, what are reaching more people. So I would say though consistently posting frequently and over
Okay.
a long period of time.
Consistently posting frequently over a long period of time. And you said something that I think is key is you're actually looking at what posts get engagement and impressions, views, and which ones aren't. And I'm assuming that that is altering the trajectory of what your future posts look like.
Yeah. And we also like to keep in mind we're not all just about numbers
Mhm.
as far as reach. Of course, it's great to reach more people, but something that Rob and I discussed pretty early on is that some accounts, and you can tell maybe if you're scrolling on TikTok, Instagram, Reels, or whatever it may be, some of these posts are you can see the intention is to really attention grab and then to bring you to the profile. But then when you see the profile, it's just all of those attention grabbing videos and there's no real substance there. So what we do is we sprinkle in the attention grabbing for the reach. And then we also want to make sure that each each account, social media account actually provides value, and that's what keeps people there and, really builds that brand trust. So, of course, we analyze and we want to reach new people and more people, but we also want to make sure that we're actually converting those people once we do.
All right, so let's talk about that next. We've got this funnel. We're kind of going down it a little bit.
Mhm.
What does that look like? Talking about the conversion here. What works and what doesn't?
So the way that our process works currently is someone will fill out a form, whether it may be the new investor form, and it does depend our process depending on what form or download people are making. But so, for example, for the new investor form, Craig on our team, he's the director of business development. He gets a notification, email notification right away. He gives that person a call. They also start into an automation that basically over the next couple of weeks, they'll be receiving emails from us with some information about us, different emails throughout, kind of dripping. So some of it may be about like our case studies or our track record. So we have that all set up beforehand so that whenever someone does make a download, that they get put through a series of email drips that will help them feel comfortable with us.
Okay, so you've got some automations that are set up to essentially, book a call or,
Hmm.
try to nurture to some kind of verbal commitment. And then I like what y'all said. You are actually picking up the phone and calling them if they fill out a form and phone number. And so that's kind of like the follow-up metric. All right, so let's keep going down the funnel here. So at this point, you've got the top of the funnel filled with the social media and the lead magnets and the podcast. You've got your nurture sequence that's kind of pushing things through, trying to get some kind of verbal commitment, calling them when they enter in their phone number on the investor form. Let's say to the point where they're ready to commit, they've invested, and so they've invested in this deal. Now we're at the investor relations portion. What does y'all's framework or customer experience roadmap looks like for that piece?
That's something that's, and same with our marketing strategy, it's something that's being refined. So, for example, we're working on a new investor guide. We already have one, but we just want to make something more robust where basically it outlines everything that a new investor can expect, when they can expect K1s, is our distribution schedule, um, where can they find help if they need any. So, that's something that we're working on just making more prevalent and more accessible for all of our new investors. But as far as some general kind of guidelines for our investor relations. We have an internal, and not a super strict, but kind of a rule amongst the team that any investor question needs to get answered within 24 hours. So we really prioritize getting back to people very quickly and obviously with quality responses. So I think that that is really one of the hallmarks of our investor relations and the way that I like to deal with things is being very, very quick and efficient with it. Um, we also have been really making a push recently to meet more of our investors in person, whether it be before they actually invest or it's great to, some of our investors, they've been investing with us for years and we've never met them face to face. So that's something that we're trying to minimize, not having met some of our investors. So basically, what we do is whenever more than a few of us will be in a certain city, we will plan a happy hour. And so, it could be anywhere from like 30 to 60 people that we have show up. And that has been a really great experience for all of us, just getting to know our investors more. And also, it's been a way to expand our reach as well.
Interesting. So I've noticed that there has been a trend in the whole capital raising world. It's not like it was 2 years ago where you could, hit a button, send an email out and, boom, you're subscribed within, 48 hours. It's a lot more hands-on. People
Mhm.
are probably able to raise 20-30% of the capital that they used to almost with twice the amount of effort. So it's become much more difficult. And so you've seen a lot of capital raising, real estate professionals specifically having to pivot and get a lot more hands-on. And what that's looked like, at least from my lens, has been a lot more personal relationships, having to go out and meet a lot of people. No more automated, emails, one and send it out. It's a lot of personalization. Loom has been absolutely big in creating that. Are you guys seeing something similar?
Yeah, I would say Fortunately for us, like we have been putting in so much effort on the capital raising side, before it has gotten a lot harder. So that has kind of mitigated those negative effects of the just where the market's at right now as far as capital raising. But yeah, it is, I would say if we hadn't been putting in that effort, and we like to call it digging the well beforehand, we definitely would not be raising anywhere near the amount of capital that we are now.
Okay, so you guys have kind of gotten ahead of it and haven't been hit as far as a lot of other people. Yeah, the whole automated people, it's you're definitely hearing a lot of struggles there. What does digging the well look like for you guys?
Yeah, it's kind of the top of funnel that we were talking about, just really expanding our investor base and then, of course, making sure that we keep top of mind. So, aside from those automations that I talked about that a new investor will go through, they also get signed up for our monthly newsletter, which historically there was always a article written by Rob in there. And then, of course, any sort of updates with the company and any deals that we have or have closed. Now we have the podcast, so that's we feature that in the newsletter, but just keeping top of mind and it because with investors, it takes the sales cycle is a lot longer. So it's
Mm,
important to just not have someone sign up for your new investor form and then you have a deal for them in a couple years, you call them up, like they're gonna be like, who are you? So making sure you keep in contact with your investors, whether it be by newsletter or, reaching out and seeing if they can attend your happy hour. So
yeah. What does the so as far as investor relations go, when you've got like this newer investor, what does the customer experience roadmap look like? Are they getting like an onboarding process on how everything worked? I know you said that you're trying to kind of create, you're always working on the process. You mentioned like, hey, here's what to expect with K1s, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, is it mostly, email communication from there on after with like a monthly update on the deals, or is there like a phone call kind of sprinkled in? I mean, what does that customer experience roadmap look like once they do become an investor?
yeah, so it really depends. Each investor is very different. Some of them just go straight into the portal, sign by themselves, fund by themselves. There's no hand holding necessary. Of course, we still send a personal email whenever we get a contribution when someone actually funds their investment. We thank them for their partnership and, of course, confirm that we've got the funds. But sometimes there is a lot more involvement. For example, sometimes people want to Zoom and really go through how to sign the documents. So sometimes there's a lot more hand holding. As far as once they've actually invested, um, we're sending handwritten notes and we also have Craig on our team call down all of our investors and let them know that the deal is closed. Of course, we send out an email as well, but it's nice to have that phone call as well to let everyone know. And also, it's a good touch point if they have any questions about the deal. So that's what we do.
Okay, very cool. Sounds like you got a right hand man, Craig, that's helping you out, those
Yeah.
investors. So, all right, moving past investor relations now, we're getting into differentiation here, right? Being different than everybody else and giving someone an experience that keeps them on board. How does Lone Star differentiate itself with its investor group in this huge world where it seems like everybody's getting inundated with real estate investment opportunities?
Yeah, I think and this isn't necessarily super unique to us, but I think that we provide great service to our investors by delivering monthly distributions. We do monthly updates with full financial packages. So, of course, not every investor wants that, but for the people who really want to dive in and are maybe more skeptical investors, I think we appeal to those people as well. Um, and then, like I was talking about, just with we're very like customer service oriented. So we want to try our very best to answer as quick as possible. I get emails all the time, like, I can't believe you responded so quickly. So I think that that's kind of one way that we differentiate ourselves, aside from just the monthly updates, the monthly distributions.
Yeah, it's funny. Communication really is key at the end of the day.
Hmm.
And I'm surprised by how many people drop the ball here. I invest my own personal funds in other people's syndications, specifically multifamily and commercial and some other stuff. And one is because I like real estate and I like to invest in things I understand. The other reason is because, we also raise capital for our specific niche here in Nashville, Tennessee. I want to know, where are people dropping the ball, right? What are they doing a really good job of? Because I want to do that and I want to apply it to our systems and processes. And then, what are they not doing a good job of? So I can make sure to take that pain point and make sure that we don't apply that here. And what I've noticed with other syndicators that I'm invested with is the communication is just not that great. Sure, I'm getting the monthly updates with all the fancy schmancy reports, but there's definitely not a connection to, the sponsor operator. That same connection that is usually what's pushing them past the threshold to cause them to invest
Mhm.
seems to taper off. It's like, hey, thanks for your money, and now kind of sit there. Like the communication's bad. It's like 48 hours of email till someone emails me, and that email is not even a response. It's like, okay, well, let's set up a time maybe and kind of get in touch. Um, Not getting questions even answered. It's very, very weird. It seems like a very simple problem to solve. Why do you think so many people drop the ball there?
I think it does take a lot of manpower per se to service a lot of investors. Um, and yeah, I think like you were saying, it kind of tapers off like thanks for your money. It's obviously not as much. There's more focus on the sales rather than your service being your sales. Like that's, obviously we're very focused on marketing, but we also love more than anything referrals and having repeat investors. You don't want to keep putting in so much effort to grow your list to only have them invest one time,
Yeah.
$50,000. So we value the investor relations of our existing investors the same, if not more, than sales and growing our list. So um I think people just maybe have their priorities lie in different places, and also it could be just like understaffed. I also know that I've grown a lot in my organizational skills. Maybe in middle school and high school, I would lose some things, but this job has really forced me to, in order to make sure that you're getting back to all your investors, you're giving them good service. You have to be super on top of all the tasks, all the questions that you get. You're getting questions, emails, texts, phone calls from every direction, and so being organized and staying on top of that is super important so you don't let things slip through the cracks.
Yeah, now 100% you got to be organized with it. And, maybe that's the reason is people just don't realize who they're investing with. Is it like a one-stop shop, or is it actually like a professionally outfitted and well-staffed and well-trained, well-oiled machine like Lonestar Capital? Yeah. On y'all's referral systems, it's funny that you mentioned that. Like we definitely share the same passion for doubling down on the relationships, because we've just learned that when you do that, people they invest more. The more times you can turn the money, give them a good experience, and like you said, they refer people to them. I can't remember who I was talking about, but they definitely had a large fund and a lot of experience. And I remember the advice that they gave me, and it really shocked me. This was pretty cool. He said, Brandon, the value of each of your investors is not the capital that they contribute. And that really confused me, because I said, well, then what value are they contributing then, if not the capital? They said, if you look at the lifespan of each investor you have and the capital that they contribute, and then compare that to the capital that they're able to bring into your organization through their referrals, you'll notice that they actually refer more money to you than they invest if you do it right. And my mind was just blown away when I saw that. It's like each value of the investor is not just the capital that they contribute, but the referrals that they generate. Do you guys have like a referral system that is working really well?
That's something that we're working on as well. We have, that's a project that we definitely want to implement more. Currently, what we do is whenever we have a referral, we send the person who referred their friend or family member to us a personalized gift. So, hopefully we know this person to some extent and some of their interests. So, for example, we've done like an aura ring for someone that we know that is very into health. Then we've
That's
done
cool.
like one of our most frequent investors. He referred his good friend to us, and I know that him and his wife play pickleball all the time. So we got personalized, customized pickleball paddles for them. So it's things like that that we do gifts and we express our gratitude because we really do appreciate those referrals. The and I've been seeing this firsthand. We've been getting a lot more referrals than normal recently. Um, those investors that they refer are just they're usually the most pleasant to deal with. They have, the least amount of questions, which of course we welcome questions, but there's already that built-in trust, and um, a lot of the work has already been done there.
Yeah, that's huge, especially if you can do like the personalization and the gifts and stuff. Like we try to do the same thing, and it, probably some stuff falls through the cracks because it's so difficult to find out like personal things about people, especially if they aren't on social media. You're kind
Yeah,
of like just swinging in the dark. Like that social media profile, if they're not posting, it's really hard to figure out something
yeah.
personal there. I know you guys are promoting a summit that y'all have coming up. Will you tell the audience a little bit about that?
Yeah, so this is going to be our fourth year actually of having this summit. We always do it in New York City, where our office is. We'll actually be hosting the event for the second year in the World Trade Center, which is where our office is. And the goal of this conference is to have a very more so intimate type of conference. It's conference, maybe not even be the right word. It's like summit, like you said. Um, because it's more intimate, maybe 100 to 150 people of just best in class sponsors and equity providers around the country, all around commercial real estate. So that's what we're doing, and we're hosting it in September 15th to the 16th.
Very cool. Yeah, and I know it's invite only. So if people want to learn more about you, learn more about this conference, learn more about Lone Star Capital, where can they go?
Yeah, so the application for the event and as well as our new investor form and contact information is on our website, which is lscre.com.
All right. We'll make sure that those get posted in the show notes. If you enjoyed this podcast, please be sure to leave us a review and share with friends and family. Dasha, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on today. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.